I need a haircut. I need a shave. But the Jazz are not title contenders. And I'm going to tell you why right now. All stupid things aside, I've always wondered this about the Jazz. Okay? So obviously they have a really good record. They've had a lot of success this season. Okay? But let's really look at this roster. Who do they have? Donovan Mitchell. Really good point guard, right? Let's say he has an off night. Let's say he gets ejected for arguing the rest, which he did recently. Let's say he fouls out. Whatever. Let's say he can't carry the load that night. Who's up? Who's up next? Who's carrying the load for them? It's not Rudy Gobert. He is not an offensive player. Granted, he's very good at what he does. He's one of the best defensive players in the league. He's one of the seriously only major rim protectors that a team has in the NBA right now. But besides Donovan Mitchell, who's going to carry this team? Jordan Clarkson? I mean, yeah, he's going to give you 18 points a night, but he'll have those nights where he'll score 6 points. But he'll have that night where he scores 25 points. And again, he has his struggles on defense, has struggles playmaking. He can just score. He's like a gun for hire. He is good off the bench. I'm not trying to hate on him. He's a very good player at what he does. Who's next after that? Mike Conley, having a good year finally. He's getting paid enough. He should be playing like he's getting paid. But, what is he going to give you? He's going to give you, 16 points? 6 assists a night, which is good, which is great. It's valuable to a team, but you need some secondary player on this roster to really put them over the hump, which they don't have. You're going to rely on Bojan Bogdanovic? You're going to rely on Joe Ingles to carry this team? Look at the Lakers, right? The Lakers went all in with their top 2 players. They had LeBron James. They went all in on Anthony Davis. They traded away a ton of their core young players, and they won a championship. Apparently, that's all you need. Obviously, having 2 all-time great players helps the case, but in a sense, it helps illustrate my point of why this Jazz team is not a true title contender this season. They're going to have great regular season success. I wouldn't be surprised if they're the number 1 seed in the West this year. They have the best record in the league. Wouldn't be surprised. Don't try to think I'm knocking them or anything like that. I just don't think they're there. I don't think they have enough firepower offensively on this team to really go over the hump, which they are currently at right now. Defensively, this team's going to be great. Mike Conley is a great defensive player. Donovan Mitchell, great defensive player. Rudy Gobert, like I was saying before, great defensive player. These guys can play defense. They're going to hold a lot of teams to under 100 points, which is impressive and hard to do this year. Or hard to do in this era. They're doing it. So you gotta give them credit for that. But do they have enough to win it all? I don't think they do. So I occasionally bet on games, over, under, money line, whatnot. I always find myself betting against the Jazz. And it's just, it dawns on me, I don't see this team for what their record is. I look at their roster and who they have, and I think this team is okay. This team is good. They're going to win 50 games, but they're going to get eliminated in the first, second round by a team that's far superior. But yet they're constantly being rated as a top team in the league, which they're not. So let's go forward a little bit on this team. Let's move to the playoffs. Let's say they make it to the conference finals. Against everything I've said about them not having the legs, they make it that far. We'll give them that in this scenario. Let's say, there's a lot of teams that go against the West. The West is very good this year. Let's say they either go against the Clippers or the Lakers. Let's just pick the 2 Los Angeles teams and say what happens if they face them, right? Okay, so let's start with the Lakers. Who's guarding LeBron James? first off, that's your main area. Who's guarding him? Who's stopping him? You want Joe Ingles guarding LeBron James? You're going to have Royce O'Neal guard LeBron James? Is that who you're trusting to stop him? Who else on this roster can stop LeBron James? Which is a question for most rosters in the league, to be fair. But who is on this roster is your LeBron answer. I mean, you're going to go out. I mean, like what? You're going to be like the Raptors and go out and acquire a PJ Tucker thinking he's going to be the, X factor, which they might do. But you can't put that in. They haven't done it yet. We can't say they're going to do that. Or if, let's say, the Lakers don't. Let's say Anthony Davis is hurt the whole year and they're never the same. They don't make it. So the Clippers. Who's guarding Paul George? Who's guarding Kawhi Leonard? Same question. Joe Ingles, Royce O'Neal. One of the two is going to be an easy matchup. Whoever goes on Joe. I mean, I guess to be fair, Paul George did get his ass handed to him by Joe Ingles. So maybe that is who's going to be guarding him. That might be what they're banking on, hopefully. But on the other hand, this team is pretty underwhelming, if we're really being honest. The stats show this team as a good team, a great team, one of the best teams in the league. I just can't see it. I'm sure you could have an argument for them. Their record, their stats. But I just can't see them going the distance when they really have no true number two on this team. I mean, they have guys who, random given night they could go off. But that doesn't, you need a constant number two who can handle the ball first off. So they do have two guys, but they're both in the starting lineup. Jordan Clarkson can handle the ball a little bit, but he doesn't have that really much playmaking-wise talent. I just don't see what everybody else sees in this team. I would bet quite a bit of money that they're not going to make the finals. But I could be wrong. If you disagree with me, comment on this video and tell me why I'm wrong. Tell me why I'm an idiot. I'm all for discussion, and I want to be told why I am wrong. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.